as such, but not to this level as far as the trading is concerned. Forex. So when you called me up, 8 months ago or so, or 6 months ago,
That long
and
ago.
was it that long? I think it was.
No.
Was it less?
Like not even 3 months.
Was it 3 months? Okay, 3 months. Oh, shit. Okay, so 3 months ago. Yeah. So I was intrigued. I was like, Dom, okay, what do you want now? Because anything you jump on, sort of it goes really well. And we've built up that trust in each other. But you showed me this, this whole new world basically of trading, and then I've seen it and gone, well, okay, yeah, this is great. How do I do this, and how do I get involved, and immersed myself in the planning or the project, the training, all that kind of stuff. And then I realized a lot of different things about myself. Trading gave me an opportunity, and what attracted me to that was the potential, the ability that I could potentially be financially free. I in maybe 5 years' time, I may not need to even work. Probably even less, maybe 3 years, 2 years. I don't know. It all depends on how well I actually pick this up and get it going. So financial freedom, essentially, is what kind of attracted me to this notion. And it's not unreachable. It's not something that you go, you got to spend hours and hours and on this and do all this kind of. Well, no, it's basic. Really is. It gets simplified for you in a way where I've it's funny, but I say to myself that I've got attention deficit disorder, ADD. I can't sit still, I can't stop, and I can't read because I can't sit there long enough to sort of read a book. I've got to throw it down and run and go do some push-ups or something, run around and have a chat with someone. And it's taught me a lot of things. My psychology. I gambled a bit, and with other things, and this has taught me a lot of different things. So ultimately, what's attracted me to this is, the financial freedom, and being surrounded by people that are successful. I think that's the key for me anyway, as to why I'm doing this.
Yeah. And that's very powerful stuff, because it can be quite daunting, especially if you have had issues previously with, gambling, as you said, and coming into this, because some people could see it as a form of gambling almost, especially if you don't have the proper guidance, the proper support system, So, I guess, how have you best managed that? I know we've done a lot of work one-on-one and also within some of our mentors as well within the community that have helped you through that. But, how have you best managed that?
Well, that's a good question. And to be frank, it's basically waking up to yourself and understanding what your limitations are. What it's taught me, and then what the mentorship that I've received from yourself and SJ and Zach, and through the calls and things like that, and Mike Miles, jumping on these calls with these guys, that I've taken spits and spurts from every different conversation and realize, wow, I am actually not the person that I want to be. I'm actually doing things that are against my, deep down inside, against who I actually want to be. Not this person that's impulsive and will throw $500, $600, $700, $1,000 down on on the horses or whatever it might be, or jump on trading and just go on there and then just blow $300 like that. It's about the psychology now for me. I've actually put the trading aside for a second and said, well, hang on a second, before I even go there, what do I need to do? I need to be better. I need to be psychologically ready to actually do this, because otherwise, what am I doing there? I might as well go to the casino and just throw red and black. Ultimately, so and that's not good. That's not good. So it's I'm in a space now where I've been reading books about about them using your mind to create better patterns, better what's the word I'm looking for? When you're not procedures, but a better way of doing things. So when you wake up in the morning, don't do what you used to do. Do something different. That's more constructive. I can't think of the words right now, but that's pretty much, in essence, I've been developing myself through reading, through training, through mentorship, and just simply trying to make it simpler, easier to understand for myself. If that makes sense.
It's awesome. Like, I guess I've seen your transition through this over the last 3 to 4 months, so I know we've come a hell of a long way, and it's still something that we're working on. But I think that ability for yourself to have that self-restraint and take a step away from trading, because that was one thing that we identified, for myself being as a mentor, is like, okay, we just need to step away from this right now, because it can be quite draining mentally, and you can start assessing bad habits, taking those bad habits previously back in, when your trades are like, yep, lost, another loss, and then you start trying to chase what you've lost and things like that. So that's really important when it comes to what it is that we're teaching, because it's the ability to detach yourself from that and having proper risk management. That's one thing as well that we teach hugely within the course, is to understand that we only ever risk no more than 2% of your account, looking to gain 10 to 15% back in return. So it's very calculated. That's a process that my mentors have taught me, which has been really, really good. But again, just coming back to that personal development side, like we identified with yourself, man, really quickly, like we need to get you reading, we need to get you developing that mind better. And the best thing is, like, that's not only going to help you for trading, but it's just going to help you for your life in general, to
100%.
make you a better person, and habits and clearing up those. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, dude. 100%. The whole idea of the psychology side of it is to be a better person in general. And what that does is what I'm finding is it's making me make better choices. In short, okay. So when I would I would go and do something, and in the past I would just it would be blasé about making a specific choice. I'm now thinking more about what the impacts, and the impact's not just on me but on my family. So because ultimately, what am I doing everything for? For me, I don't care about me. I don't give a shit about me. Okay, what I care about is my wife and my 2 little girls. They are my world. So I work a 10-hour shift, 40 hours a week, night shift, doing 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 6 a.m. shifts, Monday, Thursday. And then I come home and I'm, waking up, going, getting organized with shopping, dinner, doing all these things from basically, 4:30 to 7:30. It's go. Then I go to work again. So, trying to say to myself, okay, you need to prioritize better. How do I do that? I need to calm myself. I need to center myself. I need to understand that I have to stop wasting time on the things that give me no value. So I now am learning to ensure that anything that I touch, anything that I do, has to have value, whether it be to me, whether it be to a mate, whether it be to someone. It's got to have value. And if it doesn't, then leave it alone. Don't touch it, because it's a waste of time. So what I'm learning is that, essentially. So prioritizing, controlling what I do, having a better impact on you, on my family, on SJ. The things that I do reflect. If I do certain things and I say, and people ask me, who's your mentor? And I say, Dom. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, he's not really teaching you the right thing, is he? Because look what you're doing. So the things I do reflect on you, and the things that, and then it flows up, and it also flows down. So, and I'm seeing that through my work, managing, 20 guys at work. And what I learned in psychology, I pass down to these guys, and I'm seeing the changes. I'm actually seeing that not only in my own life, but I'm seeing guys at work do things differently because of the things I've learned and I've passed on. So, and that's great for me, because, anything I can do to help anyone is of value.
Yeah.
And that's my key focus now, is giving people value, giving as much as I can, because I don't need anything. I don't need money. I don't need to trade. I don't need to do this or that or that. I want to, because I actually really, really like it, for one. But it's going to give a little bit more freedom financially. You know, hopefully, like I said, in 5 years' time, I won't need to work full time. I could trade like you are now. And then guess what? I'm going to have all this time to spend with my family. So having a plan is the most important thing. It's also teaching me that you can't do anything without a few things. One is a plan. You've always got to have a plan now. And I'm always working on, okay, when I do something, okay, what are we doing? What's the plan? Not just jumping straight in. You've always got to have a plan. You've always got to be determined to get through. You've got to have that passion. And that's very important for me. And consistency. Without consistency, there's nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to come to fruition. And these are the things that I've learned. I constantly am looking at developing my personal goals, my personal building whatever I can that's going to make me better, basically, personally. So that's.
So would you say like, well, firstly, it's really awesome saying that, and I think a lot of people don't realize that when you do start to go on, a spiritual enlightenment journey of yourself, working on yourself, your mindset, your personal development, setting goals, the things that we don't get taught in school that have really shaped my life and greatly impacted it forever, then you do start realizing that the secret of living, and you said it yourself, but one of my mottos is the secret of living is giving to others, helping others, because when you start to remove yourself, it's important. You still got to fill your cup up. You still got to work on yourself constantly. But when you remove yourself from the equation and you learn to help and give others, and you put emphasis on others, then your shit doesn't seem to be as big of a deal anymore. And then that reward, the delayed gratification, the ripple effect of you being able to remove yourself from the equation, help someone else to make their life better, you'll get back a reward that's tenfold anything else. And that's what I love with what we're doing here with this trading. It's like, yeah, awesome. I'm trading full time. Fantastic. This is me. I'm making my money. Awesome. If this is something that you want to do, here it is. Here's the opportunity. But, not only are you going to get the ability to learn how to make money, but you're going to have a plan, as you just said. You're going to get goal orientated all of a sudden. You're going to start learning personal development, start reading, you get access to all of this other stuff, which I know for you personally, you never thought that was going to come into it. And I just said, man, this is what we're creating. This is what I'm bringing to the table because, with my background, the podcast, like my work with my people's mindset, I want to add this in to what's already such a strong foundational program that's there, man. So, you touched on it there, like, you want that financial freedom. You don't need to trade. You want to trade because in reality, your current lifestyle, although it's a great income, it's not sustainable in the long term. And at the moment, you're sacrificing a hell of a lot of your time for a paycheck. And that, unfortunately, is what we get taught to do in school, but we don't realize ways to be able to make money work for us.
Yeah.
So, you want to elaborate, man? Like, what's, how moving forward? I know the missus as well. Like, she's the entrepreneur. Both you two are like hustlers. You're like a little awesome hustler pair. I love that. That'd be goals for me as well. But, where do you want to see this moving forward?
Mate, I'm, and thanks for that's a great question. Where do I want to go with this? What's my goal? What's my overall goal? Okay, my overall goal, yes, is financial freedom. But I've always had a dream, and I think about this most nights when I go to bed. And look, I want to help people. I want to help people. That's my goal. Ultimately, I want to be able to say that when somebody asks me, "What do you do for a living?" I help people. How? I help people with financial, ways of making money. I help people with, developing themselves. I help people with understanding, when they're in hard times. What they can do to get out of these hardships that they're in and start to make better decisions. I had a guy in a group say that he did something, he cheated on his girlfriend and with his ex and and he said he doesn't want to live anymore and what to do and all this kind of stuff. And my reply to him was very simple: start making better choices. You knew that by making that choice, the outcome was going to be that. Right? We all know. I know that if I decide to run a red light and there's a cop behind me, what's going to happen? You're going to get a fine, right? We all know these things. So what I want to start teaching and start developing in others is to make better choices. And this is what I've got to master here first. It's got to be second nature for me that anytime I make a decision, my goal ultimately is to be one of those people that somebody speaks, when somebody says, John's talking, you're listening. Why? Because what he says is valuable. That's my goal. Finance and all that kind of stuff, money, that will come. That's a result of all the things that I'm tracking for. Money is just going to be something that's just constantly flowing eventually because of my attitude towards it, because of my attitude towards helping other people and growing me to make people grow themselves. Now, if you're a network marketer, you'll look at that and you say that's exactly how you would grow a network, because you need to grow others. I'm talking about life in general as well. Okay, so it's not always about money. It's about personal growth and helping others at the same time. What do I want for this? Ultimately, mate, I want to be rich at the same time. That probably sounds contradictory, but I do. I want to have money at the end of it. But I'm not concentrating on that. That's going to be the end result.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have my jet ski, which is coming soon, brother. Trust me, that's on its way, 100%. That's my little toy. I want to have investment properties, building it up. I want to have income where I can go to sleep, wake up in the morning, check my phone, bang, there it is. Sleeping and making money, bro. I mean, isn't that what we all want? We all want to have money coming out our asses, and I think we found the formula.
It's very powerful. And look, at the end of the day, everyone has what they wants, their desires, things like that. And yes, money does play a huge importance, a lot more than what people would like to. I think, in public, they like to say it's not a huge priority to them, but, probably behind closed doors, they're like, well, in reality, it does go around. I think for me personally, I don't really care about becoming a multimillionaire. For me, it's always been a lifestyle and a mental decision. And yes, what you said there, I think, for those who have known me from day dot, I've done a lot of business ventures. I've been in a lot of different things. I've tried, and I don't like using the word failure, but I've lost and learned many, many lessons from a lot of things. But it's finally very, very nice to find something that's like, yep, fantastic. And the best thing is, when it comes to this trading thing, it's just purely dependent to you and your work ethic. No different to a bodybuilding comp. You've got to go to the gym and you've got to put in the work. You've got to have the delayed gratification. You've got to make the sacrifices to be able to then come out top, and then you can showcase your rewards on stage day. This is the exact same. I had to, delay gratification. You got to go through the study. You got to learn how to do it. And it's bloody frustrating at times. So frustrating. You want to throw your computer out the goddamn window. And when you think you get it, then you don't get it. And then you start dealing with your mind yes, I can't do this. I can't do that. And then that's where the psychology comes into it, which is really good. But long story short, it is really, really good to know that it's all purely up to me, no one else. I can go into the markets, get what I got to get, then get out, and then just help others along the way as well, especially with their psychology. But look, just one more question, man. But you got a lot of people saying, good stuff, Johnny, great work. You got a lot of love from some people, mate. So good stuff there.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the comments.
To finish it up, mate, I guess, you were just straight in, because we had that connection. We've always had that friendship. I'm like, man, I'm doing this. I think you'd get some value from this. Would you be interested? You're like, bang, 100 miles an hour, let's go. And I've always been that same as well. But, I guess, what would your advice be, someone who's watching this or watching the replay and sort of sitting on the fence and I am a little bit interested in it, but I'm not too sure, or I do kind of want a lifestyle like that, but I'm not too sure. So what would you give them for advice? And secondly, what's been your biggest takeout to finish the call with? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from this, the best thing from it? All right. So first question first, though.
First question, newbies. Okay. So my advice, my experience is follow the process. Okay. Here's an example. When you get one of those IKEA furniture things, do you just go put it together and then go, fucking hell, I'm missing that? Why is that piece still remaining? Why? Okay. If you had followed the instructions from the beginning, each piece goes where it's supposed to. The same thing applies to Forex training. It applies to psychology training, and it applies to everything in life, basically. If you do things, and all traders will tell you, measure twice, cut once. Do the training as it's supposed to be done, and you'll be right. Don't rush. Don't worry about trading just yet. You can get a demo account set up, no problems. You can stuff around on that for as long as you want. But the markets ain't going anywhere, guys. They are not going anywhere. you're going to have plenty of time to get trading. So do the training and then hit it once you're ready. When you're ready, no one knows. Only you know when you're ready. You know, I jumped in at 2 weeks straight up. I didn't even finish most of the training. And I jumped into it like an idiot. And I got in there and I lost $5,000.
Mm.
All right. Now, probably a lot of you are probably going to go, what the? Yeah. All right. Because money to me had no value. In essence, gamblers, money, it's not about the money.
Mm.
Okay. If you're a gambler, you'll understand. It's about the thrill. It's about the decision that you've just made and you beat the system.
Mm.
Right? You made it. You got to win. Okay. But unfortunately, what happens is when you start to get a loss and a loss and a loss and a loss, it ends up being, you know, the wrong way.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. I've had some good wins. Okay. But it's not efficient. You can't sustain that kind of stuff. So follow the rules, follow the training, follow the program. That's my advice for one. What was the second question you had?
Second question, and we'll finish on this. Like, I guess, what's been the best learning experience that you've had so far with this? Like, what's been the best thing you've gotten out of this so far? I think you've already answered it, but it's a good way to finish it up.
Yeah, bro. The best thing I've gotten out of this is the friendships.
Yeah.
I've made some friends that I never thought I would make. I'm surrounding myself with people that are multiple six-figure income. And you look at them and you go, geez, you look like somebody that's just off the street. Like some of the guys, they're just normal people, right? I know, you know, we had that talk with that gentleman from America that was earning, multiple six-figure income every month. And you look at this guy and go, he's no one special, right? But they're awesome human beings. Just what the value that they want to give. And I'm absorbing it as much as I can. All these values, like, just keep going. You know, just pour it in. That's what I think of. The best thing out of this is the connections that I've made with people, because I'm a people person. You know, it's, to me, that's the best thing. So at the moment, and in times to come, you know, what's, you know, ahead of us is quite bright. You know, the path ahead of us is very bright, Dominic. And I think, you know, you and I will be doing this for quite some time. You know, even like last night, you sent me an example of a trade, and I sent you back exactly, without even looking at your chart, I sent you back exactly what I'm looking at, and it was literally identical. And you know, how does that work? That's because of what we've been trained to look at, and what we've been trained to see. You know, our minds went the same way, and it worked. It ended up going exactly where you said it was going, and exactly where I said it was going to go. And we both profited off that trade.
Both did.
So, you know, so ultimately, I think, yeah, you know, connections with people is the biggest thing that I could take out of this whole experience. Actually, a little bit more on that is my personal growth. I've come a long way. A very long way.
I'm so proud of you. Listening to you tonight, man. Like, fuck,
yeah,
awesome.
I've come a fucking mate. If you only knew me, man. Yeah, if you knew what goes on in my head, dude, what used to go on in my head, you'd be looking at me now, going, fucking, you know, where you've gone, what you've done, and where you've come from is intense. My attitude towards a lot of different things has changed. Going a little bit deep here, but yeah, man, it's you know, a lot of people don't know me, and I say this all the time. We really don't know each other. We really don't know anyone. You know, people make decisions like that, and you go, why is he doing that? You don't, that's not like him. But you don't know what goes on in here. You know, with all the pressures that we're under, with the current environment, you know, with things going through the roof with COVID and whatnot, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's just little bit by little bit, it basically starts to clog you up, and you've got to try to find a way through. And I do it through, and I've learned to do it through this. It's an escape for me. So it's extremely powerful. And look, anyone watching, I hope you've taken, you know, what you can from anything that I've said. It's from the heart. It's authentic. It's true. It's raw. You know me a little bit more now. If you didn't, there you go. But yeah, look, if there's anything you can take from this, is that, you know, you're capable of anything. Everyone is capable of anything as long as you be disciplined, consistent, and follow through with the plan, and are willing to be taught, are willing to learn, are willing to be educated by those who know, those who have experienced it. From that point, you guys, any one of you guys could be kings. So, love to you all,
Buddy,
man.
he's got me fired up. I want to go run through a brick wall now. Love it, man. It's so awesome to see. You know, again, no one's really truly going to know and see that transition, especially if someone only just met you now for the first time, you know, but it's so humbling for me to be able to see that journey over the last 3 months. And, you know, we have only just started. You keep doing this for another year. You're going to be even more polished, even more well in tune with yourself. And it's going to be awesome. And that's just why I guess the biggest takeout that I'm doing with these live streams, guys, is for you to see real people who are being real, genuine, authentic, who have their own lives. You know, they're not social media stars. They're just everyday Joe Blows who are trying to live a better life and a more successful life. And if this is the way that they can do it, then by all means, this is awesome. And if I can do anything in my power to be able to leave someone better than the way that I found them, then that, for me, that's what all my life is for. That's all I'm here for, is to leave someone better
that's gold.
them, man. Yeah. So to see you do that, I'm so proud of you, bro. I'm so proud of you being on here. Like, you're a natural speaker. Like, this is awesome. So again, thank you so much for your time, man. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you, listeners. Love you.
Thanks, everyone.
Hope you got some value out of that. And we'll stay tuned. I'll be doing these once a week. Stay tuned for the next interview, guys. Bye for now.
See you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
All right, Ledge, you're still on.